Dave Chappelle has been trying to tell you something for 20 years.
I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress.
Because Hollywood's obsession with control starts by emasculating the men capable of standing up to the system.
In Hollywood, there's always this pressure for them to try to get black men to wear a dress.
Subscribe to Elites Exposed for more, and tell me if you also think Dave is saying something between the lines here.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in a trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
And what Dave Chappelle revealed there at the end is more ominous than you think. Because if the directors of the movie Blue Streak that he's talking about here had a whole alternative script ready without the dress part, that means it wasn't just organically part of the script. It was a setup, and they knew Dave Chappelle could refuse. And if you think I'm connecting too many dots here, let me tell you a very uneasy truth. There's a very uncomfortable pattern I've seen where proud black actors who are secure in their masculinity are nudged to wear a dress under the pretext of some movie or comedy skit. And it has happened way too often across history for it to just be a coincidence. From actors like Flip Wilson in the 70s to now black actors like Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, and Terry Crews. And you can't just tell me I'm reading too much into it.
Nothing makes me angrier than seeing the intentional feminization of black men. Drives me insane.
Expound.
Kid Cudi wearing a dress, suddenly, and there is actually an old interview that I believe Dave Chappelle gave to Oprah where he talks about that in Hollywood there's always this pressure for them to try to get black men to wear dresses, and he said no to this, and people kept trying to get him to wear a dress. They're like, wouldn't it be so funny in one of your skits if you wore it? And he was like, no, what is this? Why are you trying to get me to wear a dress? That is weird to me. It's super toxic, and for some reason when I see that, the hyper feminization of black men, it does something to me spiritually. It makes me want to snap.
Now, if anyone knows the dark history of where this emasculation of black men comes from, you'll know exactly why I find this modern parallel so revolting, even if it's done under the garb of art and comedy. Because one reason why slavery was as ugly as it was, and yet survived as long as it did, is because black men's masculine honor and pride was the first thing taken away from them. The masters feared the rebellious nature of a masculine man and his desire for freedom, and the only way to break him was by inflicting a deep public humiliation after which he could never get back in his masculine skin. When you understand that historical context, you can't just tell me to brush it off. Even someone like Kevin Hart, who previously previously said very clearly that he'd never wear a dress under any pretext, ended up doing precisely the same thing in an SNL skit that literally nobody thought was funny.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts, and is that something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged. So, you got to know that you're a brand. Yeah. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen.
And I'm sorry, but I think I speak for most people here. There's a difference between doing comedy where people are laughing with you versus when they're laughing at you, because there's a difference between telling jokes and being a clown where the subject of laughter and humiliation is yourself. And while Dave Chappelle is someone that even famously went as far as saying no to $50 million for a comedy special in 2005 for what he called socially irresponsible content, not everyone has the gall to say no to the big paychecks and just walk away. And nobody walks away from $50 million unless something behind the scenes feels deeply wrong.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you?
And Katt Williams himself has revealed how people like Dave Chappelle, who've been brave enough to say no to the system and retain their dignity, have been practically crucified by the industry. Except in Dave's case, he simply became too big to control for Hollywood and too popular to ever cancel and isolate from the industry.
Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, you're talking about somebody who has a wife and children, 5 children, and lives on a farm, doesn't live here in Hollywood. You saying you convinced people that person was an insane crackhead and he hasn't been on movies and TV for 8 years? Is that correct? Okay, then don't tell me about what you want to tell me about. I just watched you decapitate the king in front of me. And then act like he's supposed to catch up and be a regular comedian like everybody else. But no. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are gonna say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. And my guy on the flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so. And 8 years later, he hasn't been in a movie and or television. It's just now trying to do his real comeback at Radio City Music Hall. It bees like that sometimes.
I think these are a small percentage of men that understand how dangerous their masculine boundaries are to the status quo, and how it will always be the first target of anyone trying to mold them into their image. But there's something much scarier that Terrence Howard recently revealed on the PBD podcast, so click the link on screen to watch that full breakdown, and subscribe to Elites Exposed for more.